I know what you're thinking. There's no way this guy tests a real $500,000 Bugatti watch. And you're right, this isn't the real one, but it is a really good-looking replica, which cost me about $300. Unlike the original one, you don't get to see the engine running when you press the button. Only one out of the 3 buttons on this timepiece serve any type of purpose. Let's see how good. Is a $300 knockoff of the Bugatti watch, probably most likely from China. The watch weighs 175 grams, pretty close to the original one, which is 183 grams in weight. It also feels heavy and expensive. Well, I mean, it is a $300 watch after all. On the MOH hardness scale, we start seeing slight scratches at a level 6, with deeper grooves at a level 7. And no, I didn't steal that line from some random guy on YouTube. Even though it's a knockoff, the outer shell is made of titanium, which scratches at a level 6 on the MOH hardness scale. The original watch has a tourbillon mechanism, which I don't see any in this watch. It does have a winding mechanism which can be manually wound or automatically by the movements of the wrist. Let's start slow by submerging it underwater for 5 minutes. As expected, I don't see any water drops inside the watch. Since it didn't do any sort of damage, we'll move on to the drop slam test. Since the watch doesn't have the seconds hand, I have to do 5-minute time lapses to see if it still works. Light slams and drops, not a problem for this watch. Let's see if a semi-strong magnet would cause any sort of damage. I'm not really a fan of Rolex's, AP's, or any expensive watch in general. Partially because I'm not that well off, but also because I think they are complete rip-offs. I mean, how could a watch made of common materials cost $500,000? I bet the profit margin is at least 95% on these things. I didn't have to exert much pulling force for the strap to break loose. It was held merely by a metal pin. I was expecting the same thing to happen on the other side, but the rubber wasn't strong enough to bend the pin and it tore apart. Before we break open the watch, let's see if it can withstand light hammering from a rubber hammer. You might be wondering why I didn't go full force with the hammer. It's because of the overhead camera. But don't worry, the watch will not survive by the end of the video. Nothing does on this channel. Again, the 5-minute time lapse to see if the watch still works after the hammering. And so far it seems to be working fine. Now, let's freeze it overnight and see how it holds up to the cold. If anyone ever asked me what color is your Bugatti, I would at least be able to say Silver Alibaba Edition. Not gonna lie, a cold ice Bugatti watch does look pretty nice. I don't know if it was the hammering or the cold temperatures of the freezer. The minute hand seems to have come loose. And it's no longer functional, although it does move slightly when you rotate the crown. Even though the glass didn't break by the rubber hammering, it is still glass, and glass is glass, and glass shatters. I'm sorry I had to do it. When removing the glass bits, we could see the rubber lining which kept the watch waterproof. Also, I am not a watch expert by any means, so I had to struggle a bit finding the proper way to dismantle the watch without completely breaking the internals. Upon removing the back glass panel, we find a shameless work of futile deception. I guess when you pay $300 for a Bugatti watch, you shouldn't expect much from it. This is the automatic and manual winding mechanism for the watch, which is responsible for turning the minute and the hour hand. The crown can be pulled out, which separates the mechanism, and it falls straight out of the watch. At this point, I was clueless as to how to proceed with further dismantling of the watch. None of the screws seemed to be unlocking anything, and a lot of them on the front side weren't even screws, rather just shiny stickers meant to fool the common eye. After removing a couple of screws and pulling out the hour hand, the winding mechanism completely comes out, and we could finally see what's actually useful and what's not. The watch is pretty much 75% for show, while only having one single piece of mechanism which runs the watch. If you enjoy watching destruction stuff, maybe you can consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.